Angela. Dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, the day we collected Ruby, we could not even envisage the joy and difference that she would make to our lives. She was 9 months old when we collected her. She had silky brown hair and brown eyes that adoringly looked up at us and watched our every move. My partner and I didn't enter into this decision lightly. A lot of thought had gone into it, a lot of discussion. Could we make this difference to our lives? Could we cope with the change that it would bring about? Could we cope with it financially? Naturally, adjustments were made to our lives. Bedding had to be purchased, food. There was an additional mouth to feed. There was an extra family member to take care of. Why did we choose to adopt? Did I mention that Ruby is a Kelpie cross staffy? I haven't yet, have I? Chris and I were appalled by the plight of homeless dogs in Australia. On average, every day, 1,900 dogs are listed for adoption on petrescue.com. Pet Rescue is a national directory which provides a listing for the 600 plus dog rescue shelters and pounds. In excess of 600 in Australia. How does this happen? How do we allow this to happen? It's estimated that annually, in excess of 200,000 domesticated animals have to be euthanized. This includes dogs, cats, and horses. But appallingly, the majority of this number, of the 200,000, are dogs. For example, the RSPCA alone, of the dogs that are brought to their shelters, 41% have to be euthanized. I've already asked the question, why is this happening? When people bring their dogs to the shelter or fail to collect them, questions asked by the staff so statistics can be compiled. Why are you bringing your dog here? More often than not, it's because they didn't take into account the effect the dog would be having on their lives. Economically, they may not be able to fund the vet bills. And how it affects their day-to-day life. Having another mouth to take care of, the shopping that's involved, the cleaning. Quite often, surprisingly, dogs are given up because of relationship breakups. For example, when we were looking at one shelter in particular, there were these two magnificent Ridgebacks. And my dream had been to have a dog this high, short-haired. Poor Chris, he just went into panic mode. He said, but we were looking at one dog, not two. Luckily for Chris, the dogs weren't yet available for adoption because they have to pass that full 4-week quarantine period. But I was heartbroken, and 4 years on, I still think back to Bella and Bear as to what became of them. I do hope somebody took both of them on. I asked the question, why is this happening? Why are we allowing this to happen? Why are not more dogs being adopted? One of the reasons for this, that unfortunately around dog adoption, there are some myths, which I hope I'm able to bust some of them today. Some people think that older pets might be more cumbersome. That's not true. Older pets have usually come from a home and they're already trained. Ruby, for example, while she was only 9 months old, she could obey the sit command, stay. She was house trained. She had no qualms about being in the car. How wonderful was that? What a benefit. Another myth is that in shelters and pounds, you aren't able to get purebred dogs. Not true once again. You've got to remember, these dogs have come, most of them, they were originally purchased from a pet store. In fact, when we were looking, there was a husky pup, a Labrador pup, a can't remember, and another myth is that you won't be able to create a bond with this dog. These dogs, more often than not, are just so excited to have been adopted into your home that a bond will be created immediately, and that was the case with Ruby, Chris and I. And one of the benefits is there's actually going to be fewer vet fees. If you buy a dog from a shop, you have to pay for the vaccination fees, as well as the desexing fees, in addition to the fee that you're paying to purchase the dog in the first instance. This doesn't happen when you get a dog from a dog shelter or a pound. The cost may range from $100 to $300, and your new best friend will have been desexed and vaccinated. There are exceptions to the rule. Ruby, for example, was not desexed. But we got a discount. We managed to take her home at $80 on the providing that we promised we would get her desexed, which we did. And I also forgot to mention, the price includes microchip. So another major benefit is what you see is what you get. You're not getting a puppy from a shop that you don't know how that puppy's going to turn out. And at this point in time, I also want to mention that on occasion, when you're purchasing a puppy from a shop, unfortunately some of them have been bred in puppy mills, puppy farms, under simply appalling conditions. Not in every case, but it's something you do need to be aware of. Adult pets also are more mellow, which means they're ideal for large families. They've usually worked out how to stay out of harm's way, which means that they are far more suited for small children. And it also teaches your children good value. In today's day and age, our children expect everything handed to them on a platter. Everything has to be bought. TV leads them, to think that way. It teaches them that everybody deserves a second chance. And so, what is it that you can do? Get onto petrescue.com.au. There you will see a listing of the 1,900 dogs that are waiting for you to rescue. Alternatively, check your local newspaper. or the national newspaper. There's a dog out there waiting for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cancel our speech if we don't have time. I'm happy to cancel it.
Oh, it looks long.
It is. Tell us about the best book that you have ever read and why it's the best book.
I'd like to say 50 Shades of Grey, but that would be inappropriate to some of today's guests and fellow Toastmasters. So let me think of another one.
No, stick with that one.
It's so terrible when you're put on the spot, how difficult it is to come up with something. And I'm an avid reader. I read, on average, one book a week. So perhaps that's why I can't think of any, because I love them all. Thank you.
Yes.